Ukrainian mine clearance teams painstakingly go through recently regained territory. It's slow but essential work before civilians can return and start rebuilding their lives.
In fact, our soldiers are immediately followed to the liberated areas by those who restore all conditions for normal life. The first and most basic one is demining. The occupiers leave behind thousands of unexploded mines and ammunition.
An estimated 25% of the rockets and missiles used in Ukraine don't explode on impact, leaving a deadly hazard that must be carefully removed and destroyed. For deminers from Cambodia due to arrive in Ukraine, this is familiar territory in an unfamiliar country.
There will be a similarity, there will be a difference. And however, I strongly believe that standard operation procedure to ensure the safety of operator, not very much difference.
After the civil war in the 1970s and 80s, an estimated 6 million pieces of unexploded ordnance remain hidden across Cambodia. Finding it in the thick undergrowth is difficult, and the explosives become more unstable over time. But the munitions deployed on modern battlefields such as Ukraine are very different, and this is where the Cambodian team can pass on its wealth of knowledge.
Modern munitions that are being used across the globe are vastly different. Obviously, technology has progressed hugely in the last 20, 30 years. But the basics of demining, will transfer.
Often those weapons are produced in nations not immediately impacted by the war in which they're deployed, and they can also serve as a testing ground for new and more lethal munitions. The Cambodian genocide was a very different conflict to the war in Ukraine, but it was waged with weapons from the superpowers of the time, China, Russia, and the United States. Weapons that remained lethal decades after the conflict was over. 30 years after fighting stopped on the killing fields of Cambodia, unexploded munitions still kill or maim hundreds of civilians every year. The legacy of a conflict that prevents people leaving it behind. Tony Cheng, Al Jazeera, Phnom Penh.